Hello friends, this is Anuj from Chemical Engineering Concepts and we will continue our series on dimensionless numbers, and today we shall discuss Prandtl number, which is one of the most applicable dimensionless numbers when we talk about the heat transfer operations, right? The operations where we encounter the. So Prandtl number is a dimensionless number which actually is defined as the ratio of the momentum diffusivity, which we also call as the kinematic viscosity, to the thermal diffusivity, right? So let's understand its definition first. So momentum diffusivity, which is nu, right? And the thermal diffusivity, that is alpha, right? So both these are important factors when we talk about the momentum transfer and the heat transfer, right? So actually this Prandtl number find its application in the heat transfer through pipes or heat transfer across a flat plate, etc. So during the heat transfer in between a wall and a flowing fluid, heat is transferred from a high temperature wall to the flowing fluid through a momentum boundary layer that comprises the bulk fluid substance and a thermal boundary layer that comprises of a stationary film. In this stagnant film, the heat transfer occurs by conduction in the fluid, and you should remember that the conductive component is actually measured under the same condition at the heat convection, but it's actually a stagnant fluid. Okay, so we are assuming the fluid to be stagnant fluid, and we are assuming it to have no convection but the conduction, right? So this is what happens in this case. The importance of Prandtl number of the flowing fluid is to take into account as it relates the momentum boundary layer to the thermal one during the heat transfer through the fluid, right? So this is just the application part of the Prandtl number. Let's have an understanding of what boundary layer is and what do you mean by boundary layer thickness, right? So the boundary layer thickness is simply a measure of how far from the source a significant influence can be felt. So if you just take the example of a stove, okay, this is a simple burner with a stove. So the heat from this burner can be felt in only in some places, okay, only in some places, but across this boundary there should be some boundary, and across this boundary there will be no heat felt, right? So if you take an example of a pipe, hot water flowing in a pipe, so the heat transfer between this pipe wall and the fluid, okay, so there whenever there is such a flow, there will be infinitesimal small layer where the fluid will be stagnant. Okay, you must remember about the no slip condition, right? So in this is infinitesimal small layer where the fluid will be stagnant at the wall, and the heat conduction effects could be observed rather than conduction. Okay, so this was one more example to explain this phenomena, right? So if I talk about the gases, okay, the application of this Prandtl number in gases. So for most gases over a wide range of temperature and pressure, Prandtl number is approximately constant. Therefore, it can be used to determine the thermal conductivity of gases at high temperature, where it is difficult to measure experimentally due to the formation of convection currents. Also, Prandtl number actually controls the relative thickness of the momentum and thermal boundary layers. So in the heat transfer problem, in any heat transfer problem, the Prandtl number controls this relative thickness of momentum and thermal boundary layer. When the Prandtl number is small, it means that the heat diffuses quickly. Okay, Prandtl number small means we have the thermal diffusivity to be a higher value, right? So heat will diffuse quickly as compared to the momentum or velocity. This means that if you take the example, this means that the liquid metal, for the liquid metals, the thickness of thermal boundary layer which will be much higher than the velocity boundary layer, right? Let's move further. So guys, now let's see how the value of Prandtl number changes the situation. So this is the thermal boundary layer thickness you can see for different values of Prandtl number. So when there is a large value of Prandtl number, right, this blue curve, you can see this blue curve can be simply seen, right? So in this case, the momentum flows more readily than the temperature. So the thermal boundary layer will be thinner than the momentum one because the momentum effects spread more. But if you talk about a smaller value of Prandtl number, that is this green curve, you can see that then the temperature is what flows more readily. So the momentum boundary layer will be thinner than the thermal one in this case. And yes, when there is an equivalent effect of both the thermal and the momentum boundary layers, this Prandtl number will be equal to 1. As simple as that. Now let's take two very good examples to understand the situation of and to understand the application of this Prandtl number. The first example that we are taking here is the liquid mercury, right? In this for this liquid mercury, the heat conduction is more dominant in comparison to convection, right? Because it's a metal. Thus, the thermal diffusivity is very much dominant in mercury. Though, if we talk about the second example that I'm going to take here, that is the engine oil. So in the engine oil, convection is highly effective in heat transfer from a high temperature area when compared to the purely conduction state. Thus, the momentum diffusivity is significant parameter if we talk about the engine oils, right? So let's move further, guys, and see if Prandtl number changes with pressure. Does pressure has any effect on the Prandtl number? No, it does not have any effect on the Prandtl number because the parameter, you should see the parameters, right? So Prandtl number, you simply write Prandtl number as mu Cp over K. So you can see that the parameters that it depends on, the Prandtl number depends on, are the viscosity, specific heat, and the thermal conductivity. So since all these parameters are highly temperature dependent, so we can say that Prandtl number is highly temperature dependent function, right? It strongly depends on the temperature changes. So guys, I hope you like this small video on Prandtl number. We'll come up with more such dimensionless numbers in the upcoming time, right? So thank you all for joining in, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chemical Engineering Concepts, to find more such videos, right? Thank you all for joining in. Thank you so much.